Well, we just got out of the hearing with the court, and I must tell you, we are very encouraged. It looks like the city of Houston is going to get to have the right to vote. Something that we all learned as children is that the truth is consistent. It doesn't change. It's always the truth. And if the truth is consistent, why is it that every time we have a hearing, the city's signature count changes? First, it was only 2,000. Then it was 9,000. Then it was 14,000. Then it was 16,619. The reason why it keeps changing is because the standards they're using don't have any sense to them. The law doesn't require good handwriting in order to vote. Okay? It's just that simple. The only way the city can try to get our numbers down is to argue that we have to have good handwriting. I mean, do we live in a banana republic in Houston, Texas, or what? The fact of the matter is, if we were in Selma, Alabama, and we looked at a line of minority voters who were coming to the polls, and we said, hey, I want you to write on this piece of paper. See if I can read your handwriting. I can't read it. Get out of line. That's a common tactic that was used in the past. It's called voter intimidation. It's called racial inequality. This is a modern-day poll tax. That's what this is. Legibility? Are you serious? Did our forefathers die on the battlefield so that their grandchildren couldn't vote because they don't have good handwriting? Is that the country that we live in? Give me a break. Look around me. This isn't just me talking. Can I hear the crowd?
They were asked to apply different standards to the count. And you know, in addition to that, what do you think the count is right now for you guys?
Sure. Our count exceeds the minimum number required, even under the Alice in Wonderland fantasy world that we've been here trying to deal with the mayor and the city of Houston's tally. Amen. The fact of the matter is, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of more signatures that we actually need, but we've been in a fantasy world. Because the mayor of Houston has said she's not going to let the people vote. She's made this personal. She thinks this is about her. Well, I've got a message for the mayor. Mayor, it's never too late to make the right decision. Right. Now's the time to finally say, I get it. I understand. The right to vote is more important than my right to stiff-arm the fourth largest electorate in the city and in the state and in the United States of America. Are you with me? If we go with the fantasy world of you got to have good handwriting, things like that, our number is about 17,500, which is more than the minimum number that we need to be able to have the right to vote. If you actually apply the law and the facts correctly, then we have somewhere between 25 and 35,000. So we're trying to demonstrate, even on the false situation that we're dealing with here with the city and their count, that we still win. And the thing is, it's so obvious what's going on here. The city has done everything in their power to try to deny the people of Houston the right to vote. And you know what? We're going to find out in just a few short days that you can beat City Hall. And read the Bible. David did beat Goliath, and he's going to beat him again. You've got our word on that. Amen. Amen.
And it seems to be redefining some of the requirements. that this could bounce back to this court? Is there any concern at all, or will this just be taken at face value by an appellate court? Or they just say, you guys went backwards, and actually go back and redo?
Well,
Is that fair at all?
once the court makes its final ruling and we know where we are, then the appellate court will have an opportunity to review what the trial court has done. There are multiple categories where we have had votes thrown out improperly, and we'll ask the appellate court to consider those and to add those back in. But that's just to add icing to the cake. The cake I'm announcing today is that we have enough, even under the city's tally, for the right to vote.
And can you explain that? The city's count on Friday, right, was about 16,600. You said without the legibility issue, you guys are able to get to like 17,500. How do you get there? Where do you pick up those signatures?
Sure. One issue that the city falsely contends exists is they say, hey, this circulator's hard work, all the thousands of signatures that they gathered get thrown out because this circulator supposedly didn't sign the petition himself or herself as a voter. So you know what we did? We rolled up our sleeves, we got a bunch of volunteers, we started looking at each and every page with a real simple question. Did this innocent voter actually sign the document? Yes or no? And we found time after time after time, the answer was yes, even though the city said that it was no. So I'm going to be real interested to see how the city is going to make these signatures magically disappear, because they exist, you can see them, and I've shown the court, we put the evidence before the court, so he's got that in front of him. So the first category that they're wrong about is they claim we didn't sign the petition when we did. The second category that we're talking about is their actual tally of registered voters by page. You know what they've done? They have, it reminds me, there's an old story where somebody is accused in a criminal trial of murdering their parents. And you know what their defense is? Their defense is, I'm sorry, I'm an orphan. It's a defense that they manufacture through their own misdeeds and then try to take advantage of it. That's what's happening here. Let me explain. The city was supposed to count these signatures within 30 days of turning them in last summer. They've never done that.
That's right.
You know who the only people on the planet Earth who have actually looked at whether or not every signature is a registered voter signature or not? The people. We did the work ourselves over the last few weeks. We've done that work. And what I can tell you is that we have more than the city claims that we have. And you know what they do? They don't do what they're supposed to do last summer. And now they say, I'm sorry, we can't go back in time. It's impossible for us to figure out if somebody was actually registered last summer. We can only look at a snapshot of the truth as today. Well, that's starting to sound like that orphan metaphor that I told you a minute ago. The reason why they can't find us on the database is because they didn't do their job last year when they were required to do their job. So why do they get to take advantage of stiff-arming us and not doing their job and saying that they get an advantage today? It doesn't make any sense. Well, actually it does make sense. It makes sense when you're trying to smother in the crib the right of the people to vote. Then it begins to make sense.
What was the issue with the address?